Hello. Hi, Sagittarius. Sagittarius. How is everyone today? Happy Friday. I just want to say, so at the end of Sag, Cap, Aquarius, and Pisces, I pull cards. So I'm happy to pull cards. I don't know that I can do 2 hours today because then I have to go live again later tonight on soul navigation. But I'm happy to stay and pull cards for quite a bit. And I'm still going to honor the list that I had from the other day. Every time until all those people come off the list, I'm still going to honor that list because they keep my promises. Okay, so, and I don't know if anyone saw, but hi, I think all of you also subscribe to Soul Navigation. Connie Joe's going to start her Chiron series this Tuesday, and it's at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific now. Hello. So, Tata Chip and Lil John. So, I'm loving my new cards. I have Druidcraft Tarot, and we have the Tarot of the 78 Doors. It's not the OG vintage version that I'm pretty sure Gemma from Gemma, like, she has everything. Her collection is crazy in a good way. But I got a version of it, but it's really cool because it has like 4 languages on the top of the card. So we're going to use these. We're going to look at you and other. Other can be a person. It can be your job. It's whatever other energy. Good for you, Alan. God help us in the comments. It's whatever other energy is affecting you the most right now. What's impacting your life. And then is the alchemy that both those energies create, kind of like a composite chart would be. That's that middle energy we check. I just want to give these a good shuffle because I've definitely been using them today. If you hear a cat being tortured in the background, they just want more treats and they're perfectly fine. They're my moms, and like they find things to complain about because they were very, very spoiled. She was a lovely retired lady who had nothing to do but pet them and give them treats. All right, let's get these out. These cards are formidable. These are my little hands next to the cards. For whatever else, I have tiny little hands. I don't think you want these treats, Alan. So like, I'm okay with a really big deck of cards. But these are huge. Okay, this is very interesting already. Sagittarius, you may have been feeling out of balance. And the other energy may have felt like it was so much in a lot of pentacles. The other energy may have seemed so much out of... We've been using these cards all day, so I'm not even remotely worried that they're like not shuffled enough. It's up. It's up on my link tree. Actually, it wasn't even up for like 48 hours, a little bit more than 48 hours, and then I got the 78 Doors and the Witches The Witches, Seasons of the Witch, Beltrane Oracle. I changed my description box. I did it myself. What's that line? Yeah, I did it myself. My full website is up. I made a website. That's all in the description box. If the links don't work, then copy and paste them. I'm doing the best I can, people. But yeah, my link tree is up now in the description box, and the full website is up. And the link tree has also like all the different places you can see me, and it's got like the Insta and the TikTok, so it's really easy to click on that. So I do have the full website, but I also have that. I can't, for some reason, link my TikTok to which I'm really a lot more. There's more actual content on there than there is on Instagram. Okay, enough about me. So you may have been feeling out of balance. Something else is either starting on a new project or has just turned over like a new leaf of like, I don't care what I have to unknow. Like, this other entity feels like they're taking ego out of the equation to like learn something new. I really want to see how this unfolds, and I kind of can't wait to clarify this. Some readings I'm like, can we not clarify it? This is perfect. It's a very clear story, but I always clarify because there's layers to this stuff, people. The alchemy that it's creating in between is this Ace of Pentacles. So weirdly, you're being out of balance, and this person wanting to start a new journey in their life is actually creating a new stability. Sometimes the alchemy is not something that you can like know, feel, see. But that energy it's when we talk about energy, when I talk about cards it's available to you. Then we have the Knight of Pentacles. Slow. And on their side, we have the Nine of Swords. They may have been like, I'm doing this. I'm going. I'm like, look at me. I'm going to start anew. This is a fresh new leaf. And then they're like, oh my God. What did I just say I would do? And so passionately that now I feel like I can't like back out. I'm definitely feeling like a loss of ego while they were willing to start something new. Hi, Starla. I just emailed you. Please check your email for me because I have a bounce back situation. So I just feel like they're having this anxiety is tied to like they're not having ego about this, but they are having like, what if I fall? Which is such a human. That does not say anything bad about this other energy. That is such an earthly construct to have, is what if I fall? This is the geriatric course, right? This is an odd energy to see on Sagittarius' side because, and Sagittarius, certainly you could have Capricorn placements. Or vice versa. You could be a Capricorn with Sagittarius placements and you're here for this reading. But that very slow, calculated. You know what I say about a Knight of Pentacles is that while the Knight of Swords and the Knight of Cups and the Knight of Wands for sure are worried about like what's going to happen in the next 6 hours, in the next 6 days. This one's worried about 6 months, 6 years. You know? The Knight of Wands might only be worried about the next 6 minutes. But the Knight of Pentacles really is looking slow and steady. It's a really annoying energy most of the time for fire signs. But it's here. I don't know how great the communication is between these two entities. I don't think this other energy is communicating to you that they're having the anxiety, that they're having possible second thoughts. In your upcoming energy, we have the King of Wands, but it's in reverse. And they have the Three of Pentacles. The thing I find the most interesting about this card is this little tiger leopard. I think it's a tiger. It looks like a leopard on the face and a tiger on the body. So don't at me about whether it's tiger or leopard. It's a liger. Okay, listen. It seems like he's doing that affectionate thing to the person who's trying to do the work here. It's definitely like rubbing its head into this person's foot, and 3 other people are watching. What's interesting to me is it feels like whatever this other energy is, they're going to call other people in, and they want support, but they don't actually want the other people to do the work. I don't think they want... don't give me credit for Liger. I'm pretty sure that's from Napoleon Dynamite, or from anyone that was 12 ever. Yeah, let's clarify. Normally in Three of Pentacles, you just see 3 people. But this is interesting because I really feel like this person doesn't want to need training wheels for whatever this new thing is. So this is like, I want to do the work, but I want to make sure I'm doing it right. This is going to help get over this anxiety. This is a very interesting reading. Shall we take the 78 doors? And if you're just hopping in, yes, I'm going to do questions. And yes, I'm still honoring the list until the list is gone. Because that's how I roll. Bum. Trying to decide what to have for dinner. I have a bunch of stuff, but they're either laborious, or it's like slow cooked stuff that I should have started either at 5 a.m. or last night. What's everybody having for dinner? Inspire me while I shuffle. Okay, we have the World card in reverse, but that's in the older energy where you were feeling out of balance. So that could very well be I don't mind the World card if it's in play, even if it's in reverse. And it's so funny because I said this person is like birthing a whole new version of them. They are I don't know if y'all want to see this. It's a very graphic birth scene. Woof. And then we have the Knight of Swords represented by a centaur here. I had to have these. Not rushing in with words, I feel honestly like Sagittarius, you're sitting back and watching people's behavior. Brownie brittle. My lunch today was raspberry cheesecake. Though in my defense, I made the raspberry compote, so it wasn't like too full of sugar. It was real raspberries. And cheese has protein in it. Okay. This is interesting. We got the Four of Swords in this person's blind. Woo! I'm already whatever this is, it's already starting to suck the energy out of me. Four of Swords in reverse on top of the Nine of Swords. That's double not sleeping. That's double the thoughts that keep us up at night. That is double I'm not getting real rest. This person may not even feel like they're resting when they're actually sleeping. And then what's interesting is I would normally think that this would be the Five of Pentacles with being left out, but it is the Five of Swords in this deck. Five of Swords is feeling like you have the tools, but the fight isn't over. Five of Swords can be like you have the resources, you can win whatever this is, but also feeling like you're fighting by yourself. Depends on the other cards around it. This Moon in reverse, I just feel like there's not a bunch of communication going on here. I just got a really strong hit of you, Sagittarius. You may think this person that's on this like whole new lease on life kind of thing, that everything that they are letting go of, that you may be on that list, and I don't think you are. For some of you, you may be a little concerned that this anxiety, along with this my whole new leaf on life thing, lease on life, turning a whole new leaf over. I switched them. Sorry. Miscommunication. It's not even miscommunication. It's the lack of communication. And I'm going to say 7 times out of 10, lack of communication. Fear that motivates lack of communication is like, at the very least, 5 or 6 out of 10 of most issues with other people. Okay, we have the Six of Wands in reverse with the King of Wands in reverse over here. Nine of Wands, feeling defensive, and also we have the Lovers. You know, in a weird way, I feel like this energy is doing all of this to impress you. But their vibe is so off. It's like they're doing something. Hi, Keisha. It's like they're doing something to impress you, but don't want you to know that they're doing something to impress you. So it just feels super off. It's like they're doing something to impress you, but don't want you to know that it matters whether they impress you, because they feel like that part wouldn't be impressive. Because for some reason, this other energy, whether it's people at work, might be like if you have employees or your supervisor and somebody's trying to get like leveled up, this is for people that this is work. And so they might be kissing your ass, but in the weirdest ways. And you're like, they're trying to impress you, but they may be making you uncomfortable instead. Whatever's going on is, I feel like this other energy isn't being completely transparent, and it's giving a sketchy vibe when it's not actually being sketchy. This feels very specific. And the other thing is, I feel drained from this energy. And it's like when you meet somebody, I'm either about to sound terrible or everybody's going to get it. Did you ever meet somebody and they're not mean and they're not rude and there's something about them and you're like, I want to like this person and I can't. Or like a movie, or like for me, it's Reese's like peanut butter and chocolate. Like there's something that everybody loves and you just can't get with it. But specifically when there's a person and you're like, and they'll almost go, it's almost like they can smell it off of you, and you're not rude either and you don't want to be, but they just really insist on engaging with you because they're trying to turn you into a fan, and you're like, just not a fan. Like, it's okay. Not everyone's meant to like, but it's like that kind of energy where you don't know why you can't click with them. And not only that, but you almost might feel guilty that they annoy you. And if this is a partner, you love them and they're great. But whatever this is annoying you. And you don't want to be annoyed by them because you know they mean well. And then it's already like possibly feels draining or annoying. And then on top of it, you might feel bad because and that all of these complex they're all little things that are stacking up. It's like all of these little intricate, complex, but like micro emotions. And nothing is of any real consequence, but just for you, this might be triggering something from the past, which is why you have like slow down. You also feel off balance, and I don't really actually think that has anything to do with them, but you already felt off balance, and now you're like, oh God, now I have to cheerlead for this new lease on life, and I'm just not there. Good. I'm glad people are saying yep and I understand and all that other stuff, because I'm like, this reading feels crazy, but I gotta do what the cards tell me to do, and I gotta say what I'm being fed and what I feel. And so I'm glad it makes sense to all of you. I have 0 Sagittarius placements. I think only like 2 small things in the 9th house. So like, in this upcoming energy, I have the King of Wands, like, King of Wands upside down is a couple of things. But one of the things that they are for me that totally fits this reading is over it. Capital O, capital I. They've got nothing left. Out of passion, out of motivation, out of oomph. And then I have the Six of Wands in reverse. And the Six of Wands sometimes could be defeat, but sometimes it's apathy. I don't want to throw wreaths of flowers around the horse's neck. I don't want to have a parade. I just want it to be done. King of Pentacles in reverse is what's being, and they have the Lovers on their side and the Three of Pentacles. Like, they want an audience while they work. You know, and the Lovers is also the Choice. It's Gemini's card. We're in Gemini season. I'm really glad you understand exactly, because this reading is like, I knew it when I first started. I was like, this reading makes me want to lay down and take a nap. And I can't let it because I have to pull cards. I'm trying to decide whether I want... This doesn't feel like message from your person or a romance oracle. Sagittarius, let's figure out what this is triggering. I feel like this is triggering something on you and you're almost like annoyed that it is, or yeah, I feel annoyance. Especially if you're already feeling a little out of balance. Which in Gemini season, you would feel out of balance because it's your opposite, in case anyone doesn't know this. Because like Capricorn season usually sucks for me. Other than like the Christmas stuff because it's my family. Capricorn season is usually pretty awful for me. Like, historically. So... Oh, that sounds delicious, Karen. But when you are a Sagittarius, Gemini season will be like neutralizing for you. So all the things you rely on about being a Sag will not feel as strong. It's almost like, you know, what's his face getting his hair cut off, or Achilles heel. Like Gemini season can be like you're Samson and you just got a haircut. You guys are the real MVP, because I don't know how you understand my crazy analogies. I want to see, so where is the book for this? Hold on, I think it's in here. Yay. Let's see what this is for. Okay. I feel like you must have squaring planets right now, because the card that you got represents like ether. When we get, I speak slow enough that actually if you speed shit up, I still sound normal. When we have a card from the shadow deck that represents ether, that means it feels like something you can't put your hands on. So when you're already feeling balanced, and like I said, this makes perfect sense, because it's like when something happens, it's like I feel like I'm a bad person, that this annoys me, or I don't like this person, and I don't even feel like I have like a legitimate reason why, but it's still what it is. So let's look and see what this has to say. Again, with the singing of the words, I'm sorry. Creator finds us. Show you the card. Creator finds us when we need to move the raw and pure energy in our body and allow it to physically manifest. To be with creation is to simply interpret that which is already within us. And there are no rules. This card may indicate a time where you need to protect your creative work. Yeah. Talks about actually protection more than I thought it would. And you have the 9 of Wands here, and I can feel like this energy off of that 9 of Wands. Like, I'm gonna sit back and watch what you do. I'm gonna let you show me, because for a few of you, this I'm on a whole new lease on life thing may not be new from this person. And you're like, I don't care what you do. I don't care if you want to go snorkel with elephants to find yourself, as long as you find yourself. And that we're not doing this again in 18 months from now. It just may feel like you're trying to get your own balance, and somebody else who's struggling to like find themselves or whatever it's so important for them I don't know if the other energy is doing this for the right reasons, because if it's to impress you and it doesn't align with them, then it may be an issue where you're doing emotional labor. Sagittarius, I think that you're being hard on yourself. Oh my God, I just said that exact phrase today to a friend who has Sagittarius placements. I think you're being hard on yourself. I think this thing is draining you, and you're beating yourself up, and you don't know why. Let's see what we need. I just got these. This was on my wish list, and they showed up yesterday. I had a wish list already. I just had it up for like my kids and whatever. Because the birthday's coming up, and so I just made it public. But then I'm probably going to feel bad every time somebody comes in, because that's how I am. Very good at giving. Receiving's a little harder. All right. Seriously. Maybe it doesn't want. This is the season of the witch. Until my body is. Oh, okay. Until my. I need my glasses. The closer that birthday comes, the more I'm putting on my glasses, I find. Okay. Well, these two stuck together. Inside myself, inside is 7. I've sown beauty with wounds, which speaks of my immortality and the expansive, eternal song, softly bellowing in spirit. I thought this was a picture of a tree at first, and this one has a tree. That was the one that was stuck to it. Listen, the thing in growth is that at some point, that card talks about being honest. with your alignment. You can't be off balance and drained by somebody else and then feeling guilty about it. That's a lot to take on for a really optimistic Sagittarius placement. And if this is happening, oh my God, it's got to be making you feel so off. And as we talk about it, like Sag Moon doesn't love conflict. It would rather things be okay. It's the optimist. They want to see the good in people. This Sagittarius moon is going to give us a lot of opportunity with Saturn in retrograde to let go of the things that keep us from believing in ourselves. This moon's going to be significant for you, Sagittarius. I don't know why you made yourself the bad guy in this whole thing, but it seems like you have. Don't do that. And just because somebody throws flowers at your feet or decides on their own to do something to impress you, right? Even if you care about them. Because somebody made the grown decision to do this thing to impress you or to impress others does not mean you have to sit there and like draw blood to facilitate it. Like in this, unless this was a consensual thing, I also feel like with the lack of communication, I don't know if you were hiding that you were off balance because you'd rather be bubbly, happy Sagittarius. Like no big, even if you're not happy and bubbly, if it's like, yeah, no problem. Right? If you hid the fact that you were feeling off balance, okay, fine. But I feel like if this is a partner, your partner should maybe feel or know you well enough to know when you're off balance. And I don't know that they are even paying attention to that. Or they're trying to treat it in the way that they think would make themselves feel better instead of like understanding what would best support you. And Sag placements, even if you don't like the confrontation, even if you don't like that, it's time to say something. Either it's time to say, I don't feel like my needs are being met. I feel like you support me in the way that you want to be supported, in the way instead of in the way that would best support me. I don't have energy for this. Any one of those. It is time. It's time. It is time. Woof. Please go do something nice for yourself. Like hide. You know those things when you see like moms in a pantry, like sitting on the floor eating an entire box of Oreos? I'm not saying you should do that. I am saying that happens for a reason. Because at some point, we need both isolation and indulgence when we do not set healthy boundaries. Letting, Saturn can represent boundaries made by others for us. And again, letting go of what won't allow you to believe in yourself is what this new moon is going to be about on a collective level. For Sagittarius, that's going to mean creating boundaries if that's what helps you to let go. Sometimes you have to, and you have the Creator card. Creating boundaries, fully feeling things in your body so that they don't, like, putting one thing off to, yeah. Keisha. Once I have a video on TikTok about this. When somebody ghosts you, that's about their unhealthy ways to manage things. A super healthy person has communication. They don't ghost instead of. So, like, that's probably about their unhealthy things and not about you. Because even if it was about you, right, or things weren't working, that's a very unhealthy, like, emotionally immature way to handle rather than having a discussion. So one of two things happened there. Hi, Diana. Either one, you're dealing with somebody who's unhealthy. So, and they're not in a space right now where they can be reciprocal in a relationship. And if they're in a new relationship already, or you think that they're in a new relationship already, chances are that person hasn't seen that side of them, or that person is not the kind of healthy that triggers anything in them. When your kind of healthy triggers somebody else to have to fix something, that's when you might find ghosts. So one, ghosting, it may be an indicator that you've done some work on yourself. I mean, unless you're somebody that, like, needs a restraining order, and I doubt you are, then ghosting is just an indication that that was somebody that was unable to be in a healthy reciprocal relationship. Yeah. Well, then feel it and then move through it, but know that that's not about you. And Sagittarius, let me say this, Sagittarius wants to see the good in people. I have Sagittarius friends that it's like that person can do, let's say a third person is doing something that's like shady or like so obvious, and you're like, they just kicked that puppy again. And my Sagittarius placement friend will be like, maybe they were moving the puppy out of the way of danger. Maybe they were helping the puppy. So, so when we talk about Sagittarius, Keisha, that oh, Connie Joe is in there. I see. Hi, Connie Joe. I was so confused. Oh, it's a Sagittarius placement thing. That's why Sagittarius placements are the funnest to laugh with and go. I could be having the worst day, but talk to one of my Sag placements, and two of my best friends have strong Sag placements, and we'll end up laughing on my worst day with them, right? But when you want to see the good in people, Keisha, sometimes what you're grieving is the best of you that you feel was brought out by that person, but would be brought out by anyone. It's like, have you ever, and this is all Sagittarius, we're not done with Sagittarius readings. I personally made the joke that, like, when people talk about like bad sex, and I will joke around and say I don't have bad sex because I'm there. So I don't allow that, right? So like, but of course it's different when you're with other people. You know, it's not guaranteed 100 out of 100 every time. But my point is that, like, you are going to bring that joyful part of someone else out. So what you are seeing, what you think that you, I'm not saying that you're not missing them. I'm not here to invalidate. Your truth is your truth, and I am no one to invalidate what you're feeling. What I'm saying is Sagittarius will bring out the bad kid in the back of the classroom, the giggler, the joyful, the childlike, the good time. You're an instigator of the best kind of mayhem. You are the peace and love person, right? And so what you were experiencing is their reflection of themselves off of you. So if they appreciated all the best parts of you, that feels good. But I assure you, you probably do that for a lot of people. You probably really do that for a lot of people. Look, Connie Joe, we use these cards. So maybe it's time to stop grieving them. Because if you were only seeing the best of them, right? Because you believe in other people. Take the energy to believe in yourself that you can replicate that joy. Because what do we miss? We don't miss the fighting. We don't miss. But I promise you, ghosting is not a healthy indicator, right? That's somebody who's dealing with something, and maybe they'll get through it, and then maybe you'll hear from them. But for sure, the timing isn't now. Yes, it's called osmosis. Sometimes somebody who radiates off of you could also be in the Venn diagram, right? They radiate off of you. Also an energy vampire. Also unwilling to look at themselves without you all over their reflection. And we kind of went over that, right? In this reading. And then, you know, that little other part can just be, you know, still healing. All right, Sagittarius, if you're confused, if you're watching this after 48 hours, I am about to do free card pulls, but then just to kind of, so that it's not everybody's business in question isn't up there forever and ever, I take the tail off and shorten the reading to just the reading, usually about 24 hours later. So if you're watching this after 24, 36 hours later, we do pull free cards in Sagittarius. I just, I delete that part after a while. And thank you for watching. Live chat players.